Are your tomatoes looking a bit lackluster and your cucumbers giving you the side eye? August isn't just for harvesting, it's also the perfect time to lay the groundwork for next year's incredible bounty. And what if I told you that everything you need to make it happen is probably already in your own backyard? Today, we're going to forget those store-bought bags of synthetic chemicals and whip up 5 incredibly powerful organic fertilizers. You'll discover how to transform common weeds and garden scraps into genuine garden gold that will feed your plants all through next year. So, why August? It's simple. By the end of summer, our hard-working plants have poured all their energy into producing those fruits, and the soil is frankly exhausted. This is the perfect moment to give back to it, replenishing its vital nutrients and organic matter. Synthetic fertilizers offer a quick, but often fleeting boost. Instead, we're aiming to build a healthy, vibrant garden that thrives for years to come by creating a sustainable, living balance right there in your soil. Let's start with a true classic that seasoned gardeners affectionately call liquid gold. This is compost tea. And please, don't confuse it with just soaking compost in water. Our recipe is a whole different level. It's a genuine elixir of life for your soil. Imagine giving your soil not just food, but a powerful probiotic, much like a beneficial yogurt for humans. Compost tea is the living concentrate of millions of beneficial microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, and protozoa. They are your personal, invisible army, tirelessly working day and night beneath the surface. So what exactly does this army do? Firstly, it helps your plants absorb nutrients that are already in the soil, but in an inaccessible form. Secondly, these microbes improve the soil structure, making it looser and more aerated, so roots can breathe easier. And thirdly, they actively combat harmful pathogens, protecting your plants from diseases. Now for the recipe and the main secret. Take a bucket of dechlorinated water. Add about a litre jar of good, mature compost. And now, the magic. To dramatically boost its effectiveness, we need aeration, which means saturating it with oxygen. Place the simplest aquarium air pump into the bucket and let it run for 12 to 24 hours. This oxygen will cause an explosive growth of beneficial aerobic bacteria. The finished tea should have a pleasant, earthy, forest-like smell. Dilute it with water, 1 to 10, and then you're ready to generously water your garden beds. If compost tea is like a probiotic for your plants, then our next recipe is a true powerhouse energy drink for them. We're talking about the famous herbal infusion, often called green fertilizer or liquid green manure. And the best part? Its main ingredients are probably already growing right under your feet, things you usually just pull out as weeds. It's an absolute vitamin boost for your garden, incredibly rich in nitrogen and potassium. The main stars of this particular concoction are nettle and comfrey. Nettle is a champion when it comes to nitrogen, essential for lush green foliage. Comfrey, on the other hand, is a powerhouse of potassium, crucial for fruit development and bolstering your plant's natural defences. But other weeds work great too, like dandelions, chickweed, and lamb's quarters. Hold on a minute, you might be thinking, won't a barrel full of rotting plants stink up my entire garden? And you'd be absolutely right. But we've got a secret to avoid exactly that. Instead of letting the mixture rot and ferment for weeks on end, we're going to make a quick, beneficial infusion. Grab a large container, like a barrel. Fill it about 2/3 full with chopped up weeds. Add water, ideally rainwater or aged water, but don't fill it right to the brim. Now for the key tip, to prevent that nasty smell, add any effective microorganism preparation to your barrel, such as Bicarb EM1. This will steer the process in the right direction, ensuring beneficial fermentation instead of foul-smelling decomposition. Let it steep for about a week, giving it a stir now and then. Once it's ready, dilute the concentrate 1 part to 10 parts water and apply it directly to the base of your plants. Now let's talk about something many people might just consider waste after a barbecue or firing up the sauna: wood ash. But for our garden, it's a real treasure, especially in August. An ash infusion is like an emergency boost for your plants. If compost tea is a nitrogen-rich energy drink, then ash is a comprehensive mineral complex. It contains no nitrogen, but it's packed with potassium, phosphorus, calcium, and about 30 other essential micronutrients. Potassium helps fruits ripen and makes them sweeter, while phosphorus is crucial for developing a strong root system, which is critically important for perennial plants before winter. The recipe is simple. 1 cup of sifted wood ash for 10 litres of water. Stir it well and let it steep for at least 24 hours, or even better, 48 hours, stirring occasionally. This solution doesn't need to be diluted. You can use it directly to water plants around their base. But here's the most crucial detail, and I urge you to pay close attention. Not all ash is beneficial. You absolutely must not use ash from burning construction waste, painted or chemically treated wood, particle board, like MDF or chipboard, or laminate flooring. These contain heavy metals and toxins. Also unsuitable is ash from coal, or from burning household waste like plastics and glossy magazines. Only use clean ash from burning hardwood or softwood, or from plant residues. The right kind of ash is a priceless gift. The wrong kind is poison for your garden. And here's our secret ingredient which we're going to borrow straight from your kitchen. That's right, it's ordinary baker's yeast. You might be surprised, but this humble ingredient can work real wonders in your garden beds. Now, there's an important distinction. Yeast isn't exactly a fertilizer in the traditional sense. It doesn't contain a lot of direct nutrients. Instead, think of it as a powerful biostimulant. Imagine you're not just feeding your plants, but activating an entire organic matter processing factory right in your soil. When yeast enters a warm, moist environment, it starts to multiply rapidly. As it does, it releases substances that act like an alarm clock, waking up the soil's microflora. Consequently, beneficial microbes become more active, quickly breaking down organic matter into elements readily available to plants. What's more, yeast dramatically boost root system development. Roots grow stronger, branch out more actively, and become much better at absorbing nutrients and moisture. Here are the perfect proportions for our turbo booster. Take 10 grams of dry yeast or 100 grams of fresh yeast. Dissolve them in a small amount of warm water, adding 2 to 3 tablespoons of sugar. The sugar acts as their quick start fuel. Let this mixture sit in a warm place for a couple of hours so the yeast can wake up. Then, dilute this activated mixture in 10 litres of water and use it immediately for watering. Important, this solution is only effective in warm soil. And now, for our 5th and final tip. This one's for the patient, long-term planners among us. We're talking about a slow-release fertilizer that won't just benefit your soil for a month, but for an entire year or even longer. Specifically, we're talking about an infusion made from bone meal, or a more readily available alternative, eggshells. If our previous feeding methods were sprinters, offering quick bursts of effect, this one is truly a marathon runner. The magic ingredient here is slow-release calcium and phosphorus. Calcium is vital for strong cell walls, boosting your plant's resistance to diseases and pests. And phosphorus, as we've discussed, is all about energy and robust root development. Applying this feed in August means you're making a long-term investment in your garden's health for the entire following season. But for this feed to truly work its magic, proper preparation of the components is crucial. Simply tossing eggshells into the soil is almost useless. They'll take years to decompose. The secret lies in proper grinding and activation. First, collect your eggshells, make sure to wash and thoroughly dry them. Then, bake them in an oven or toast them in a pan to make them brittle. After that, grind them into a fine powder, almost like flour, using a coffee grinder. The finer, the better. Now, you can simply sprinkle this powder over your garden beds before digging them over. Alternatively, to really speed up the process, pour 1 cup of this powder into a litre of white vinegar. A vigorous reaction will immediately begin. This is the calcium transforming into a readily available form for your plants. Once the fizzing stops, dilute this concentrate in 10 litres of water and use it to water your plants. All right, We've got our 5 powerful elixirs, but simply preparing them is only half the battle. The real challenge is knowing how to apply them for maximum benefit, as each one has its unique properties. When it comes to application, we have 2 main approaches: root feeding and foliar feeding. Root drenching is the primary method for nourishing your plants. This delivers nutrients directly to the root system. Compost tea, herbal infusions, ash solutions and yeast feeds are particularly effective when applied this way. They don't just feed the plant, they also invigorate the entire soil ecosystem around it. Foliar feeding, on the other hand, acts like a rapid first aid for your plants. Plants can absorb nutrients not just through their roots, but also directly through their leaf surfaces. This offers a super fast way to deliver essential nutrients precisely when your plants need an immediate boost. Well strained and diluted to half-strength compost tea and herbal infusions, for example, are ideal for this application. Always spray early in the morning or in the evening to prevent the leaves from getting scorched by the sun. Ash solution can also be used as a foliar spray, especially if you notice signs of potassium deficiency. Just remember to strain it thoroughly to avoid clogging your sprayer. But what about dosage? You might think, it's organic, it can't possibly do any harm. But that's one of the most dangerous misconceptions. In gardening, the golden rule is clear. Better to underfeed than overfeed, and this principle holds true even with natural organic fertilizers. Let's look at a common mistake many gardeners make, especially beginners. After witnessing the amazing effect of, say, a homemade liquid feed, it's tempting to drench your garden beds with it every day, and in generous amounts. What's the inevitable result? An excess of nitrogen. Your plants will start to go to leaf, producing huge lush foliage and stems at the expense of actual fruit. Tomatoes will grow excessive suckers, and cucumbers will yield primarily male flowers. What's more, nitrogen-overfed plants become weak and soft. Their cell walls thin out, making them an easy target for aphids and various diseases. The same principle applies to wood ash. Too much potassium can block the uptake of magnesium and calcium, leading to a whole host of other problems. So, remember this simple rule. Any liquid feed should be applied no more often than every 10 to 14 days. In August, when active growth is already slowing down, this frequency is more than sufficient. Your goal isn't to inundate your plants with nutrients, but rather to gently support them and replenish any minor deficiencies in the soil. Listen to your plants, they'll tell you exactly what they need. Another crucial practical tip concerns the storage of our organic elixirs. Not all of them can simply sit around in the shed, waiting indefinitely. Some need to be used right here, right now, while they're at their peak biological activity. These perishable products primarily include compost tea and yeast solutions. Their strength lies entirely in the live microorganisms within them. As soon as you turn off the aerator in your compost tea bucket, those beneficial aerobic bacteria begin to die off without oxygen. You need to use it within a few hours, or at most by the end of the day. It's the same story with yeast. Their vigorous activity doesn't last long, so once you've prepared the solution, get it straight onto your garden beds. However, herbal infusions and ash solutions are a different story. They can wait. The concentrate of your green fertilizer can be stored in a covered barrel for several weeks. Just dilute and use it as needed. The crucial thing is not to leave it in direct sunlight. An ash solution also won't lose its potency, even if it sits for a day or two. As for our marathon runners, eggshell meal or bone meal, these are dry products. You can prepare these in advance and store them in a dry place all winter long. They represent your strategic reserve of calcium and phosphorus, always ready when you need them. Proper storage is absolutely key to the effectiveness of all your fertilizers. Now let's debunk a very popular and rather dangerous myth. It goes like this: organic products are completely safe. You can't do any harm with them. That's not entirely true. While organic fertilizers are indeed much gentler and safer than their chemical counterparts, they still demand a sensible and cautious approach. We've already discussed the dangers of overfeeding with nitrogen from plant-based liquid feeds. But that's not the only concern. Take, for example, fresh, uncomposted manure. While it's organic, applying it directly to your plants can burn their roots due to its high ammonia content. Furthermore, it often contains weed seeds and pathogenic microorganisms. Or let's consider ash. Not only does it provide nutrients, but it also significantly raises the soil's pH, making it more alkaline. If your soil is already alkaline, regular application of ash can cause serious harm by rendering many essential micronutrients unavailable to your plants. And acid-loving plants such as blueberries or hydrangeas could even die from regular exposure to ash. Even seemingly harmless compost tea, if prepared incorrectly without sufficient aeration, can transform from a beneficial elixir into a breeding ground for harmful anaerobic bacteria. So, remember this: any fertilizer, even the most natural one, is a tool. And like any tool, it must be used skillfully and for its intended purpose, with a clear understanding of what you're doing and why. The biggest secret we've unveiled today isn't about the recipes themselves, but about what we're truly feeding. When you use chemical fertilizers, you're only nourishing the plant directly. But by creating organic concoctions and infusions, you're feeding the entire ecosystem within your soil, billions of bacteria, fungi, and other microorganisms that are responsible for creating true, living fertility. This isn't just a quick fix for the current season. It's an investment that enriches and strengthens your soil for years to come. Your plants will grow more robust, your harvest will be more flavourful, and your gardening efforts will become far more rewarding. So, August isn't just the end of the growing season, it's the beginning of a new cycle. It's a time when we can gratefully give back to the earth, restoring its vitality with simple yet incredibly effective methods. You've seen that you don't need expensive chemicals for an abundant harvest. Everything you need is already right at your fingertips. Thank you for watching this video all the way to the end. If you found it helpful, please support our channel by giving us a like and subscribing so you don't miss out on more secrets for a thriving garden. Now, a question for you. What organic feeds do you use? Share your tried and true recipes and tips in the comments below. Let's all learn from each other and exchange our experiences.